Good evening and welcome back to China. Well, the sun is setting here and it's also setting on a fantastic week of climbing. We have our last event of the week. It is the Junior Bouldering Final. I'm Charlie Bosco. I've got Kai Leitner alongside me, fresh from the Junior A Final. Kai, tell us how it went.
It went pretty well. I took my second silver medal at the championships, so I'm pretty excited.
When I first saw you, it seemed like you were a bit disappointed not to get gold. You've had a couple of hours to reflect on it. How do you feel now?
I feel pretty happy. Like, I gave it all I could on every boulder, and although I missed some crucial beta on the last one, I'm still happy with how I did.
Worth remembering, of course, Kai's a bit too modest to say it. You are coming back from a pretty serious back injury, and back in April you were told you might not be able to climb again. 7 months down the line, you got 2 World Championship medals in the youth competition. How does that make you feel overall?
It makes me feel pretty good. It gives me some confidence for next season. I'll be back training at a high level by next month, and so I'm super excited for it. It gives me a lot of confidence.
It was inspiring to watch you in both the lead and boulder. It was superb, amazing achievement after such a tough year. So just to quickly run you through our start list here for the Junior Boulder Final, not the Youth A. We'll get the start list back for you in just a second. We'll do female first. So we've got Franziska Sterre of Austria, Tara Hayes. We're doing the whistle-stop tour of the start list here. Okay, we'll do the men first. So first up, we've got Great Britain's Will Bosey. There are 7 men in this evening's final, so Will climb on his own throughout. He'll be all on his lonesome. He'll then be followed by Nicola Pelosson. Baptiste Ometz of Switzerland, expect him to feature heavily. He will be out third. Ryohei Kamiyama of Japan, Borna Čučić, Nikola Kolan and Georg Palmer are your 7 men. And in the women, there we go, Franziska Sterre, Tara Hayes of Great Britain, and then we'll have Sarika Okawachi, Miho Nanaka, very familiar figure to IFSC viewers, Johanna Faber and Margot Hayes. They are your 6 female finalists. Climbers just inspecting the boulders now. Of course, they get 2 minutes to inspect each boulder. Kai, we just had a look at these boulders. We were up on the mats 10 minutes ago. What was your take on them?
Well, they all look really hard. It's pretty crazy, like being up close and looking at all the holds and seeing how bad they actually are. It seems like there's quite a few styles on some of the boulders, which is pretty cool to see. It'll be exciting for all the competitors. I think that male number 3 will be the one that looked the coolest to me because the sequence looks awesome. And I can't wait to see these guys on these boulders. It's going to be a great final.
M2 that the male competitors are looking at now is super burly. It's really physical on volumes. We've already seen those round pink volumes causing trouble quite a few times on a few boulder problems already here in Guangzhou, and they're out again. A few climbers' hearts will have sunk when they saw them. So that's going to be a physical boulder. And women's too, you can see there the women on the left. It's quite a complicated boulder. You can see how many holes there are. It kind of looks as if the route setters have left up a hole by accident. It's just volumes everywhere. It's going to be a complicated one.
Yeah, there are a lot of holes in that climb. The sequence looks like it could go a lot of different ways, and it's going to be cool seeing all the girls, because a lot of the top girls have varying styles. And so, like, Miho is so powerful, and Margot is so good on crimps, so we'll see how they do that boulder.
Yeah, of course we have, as ever, 4 male boulders, 4 female. And the climbers have 2 minutes to inspect each one.
in the men's category, anybody could really win at this point, but the name that most people will probably recognize would be Baptiste Metz. He's super strong, and he competes against me every other year, which is kind of scary, but he should do really well in this final. And for the women, it's obviously Miho Nanaka. She's the second best in the climber in the world. She got silver at the World Championships, and she's definitely looking for this title.
Yeah, as I say, we've got 7 men in the final this evening. And 6 women. That's because there was a tie in the men's semi-final. Will Bozy and Nicolas Pelosson of France both tied. Baptiste Ometz as well, we'd expect him to feature highly. Only qualified 5th. So as a result of having 7, we'll have 1 climber on their own. Climbers now out. Okay, so the climbers now onto the 4th boulder. Men's boulder 4, we had quite a long look at this, and
yeah,
there was a bit of discussion about whether you start with your hands on the right or the left.
I at first thought the left, but I'm pretty sure it's the right. The lip is pretty good, so it'd be interesting to see the competitors, see if anyone actually tries to go for the left. That'll be really hard.
Women also have a look at their 4th boulder. Interesting, the women's number 4 looks, we think, relatively simple, but quite crimpy.
Yeah, the girls will probably really enjoy this one the most. The sequences are so difficult to figure out, it's just all crimps. And a lot of the girls like that, so we'll see.
Miho Nanaka there in the red cap, certainly.
I'm actually pretty interested in how they'll start this boulder. We'll see, because those 2 dishes that they're holding are not good at all. So we'll see.
Less than a minute left of the inspection period. I think Miho Nanaka, most people's favourite to win this women's competition. Men slightly more open, extremely strong field today.
Yeah, Miho's been, she actually would have probably been the dominant figure this year without Shauna, and so she's looked really good on the World Cups this year, and so she definitely is the favorite.
So the male climbers being led back in. Female climbers have a judge watching over them, keeping a very close eye on exactly how long they've got.
Would have been interesting to see Megan Mascarenas compete here too, but unfortunately she took a trip to France instead.
So the climbers are back in. Very shortly we'll have our first athletes out. So in a couple of minutes we'll welcome out the first climbers. Will Bosey, of course, will climb on his own at the start. Do you think that's an advantage, a disadvantage to climb on your own like that?
Climbing by yourself?
Yeah, because Will's going to be out there on his own. There won't be a female athlete alongside him.
I don't know. I've actually never had that happen to me, but I would imagine that it may. I mean, you're the first climber out, and so you always set the high point, and so that's always an exciting thing. But being the only person to focus on may be a little nerve-wracking. But Will Bosey has been competing for forever, so I'm sure that won't bother him.
It's hard to believe he's still competing in the junior categories. Recently repeated the very famous sport climb Hubble in the UK, 8C, 9A maybe. The debate rages amongst people that can climb at that level. I don't include myself in that category, unfortunately. Crowd growing here as well, here in Guangzhou. We've had a huge amount of coaches and friends and family along with the climbers. And it seems like just about everyone is here tonight.
Yeah,
it's about as full as it's been.
Yeah, the Japanese team has brought a lot of climbers here too, a lot of support. So you'll be hearing a lot of support behind Miho.
Yeah, Team Japan strong as ever in bouldering, very well represented. Already won a hatful of medals already, and they will have their eyes on a gold this evening with Miho.
In my category, they took gold and bronze, so they're really doing well.
Who got silver again?
Me. Me.
So here is Will Bosey. Hands his scorecard to the judges. And he's underway. So men's one, we looked at it earlier. A running start. Maybe, do you think it can be done statically?
Oh, definitely. Oh, I think so, actually.
You think that's how climbers will do it?
A start like this is actually kind of my nightmare because such long limbs. But I think that it might be able to be done statically. But I think it'll be easier just to run across, and I don't think you will take that chance.
So Will, he starts out static, he goes dynamic. It's now that you realise, actually, I have to say, I think this is a disadvantage being out on your own. All eyes are on Will. It's funny when we look at the crowd here, everyone's focusing on him.
Yeah.
I suppose it depends whether you like pressure or not, but certainly to me, I can't help thinking that would make life a bit harder. We shall see.
Yeah, especially on slab. Slab can be pretty scary.
Let's see, Will, he's trying to find the slightest thing to grip on the wall. No. It does look potentially like the way to do it. He's got another foothold if he wants it.
Yeah, seeing the route setters form running this, they definitely jumped to that volume. And so I don't think the intended way is to go static. But if I were him, I'd probably stick my right foot out again.
Yeah, he's completely ignoring that right-hand foothold.
Yeah. But you never know this unless you're out there doing it. Like sometimes it can seem obvious, but be really uncomfortable.
So you wouldn't have thought energy use will be an issue here. It's not physical at all, this men's number one. Will just be conscious of using up too many attempts early on, though. Attempts were key in the competitions we've seen so far, and he nails it this time. Sensibly taking a chalk bag with him.
I never leave the ground without my chalk bag.
Well, it seems to divide opinion. I had Sean McCall on the live stream, and he said, "I don't think you should take a chalk bag bouldering." It's like I don't know. It seemed like an ethical thing, but
We've talked about this, me and Sean. Actually, I think I feel uncomfortable almost when I don't have my chalk bag on me.
I know what you mean. I'm the same when I climb, but. Trying to mantle that blue volume.
Come on. Oh, come on. Come on.
Just to remind you, Will is climbing on his own because there are 7 men in the final. There are only 6 women. So once the second male climber comes out, he'll be joined by the first female climber. So Will will be on his own throughout the competition. It's close.
Very close.
Also, we were discussing this also when we did our inspection of the boulders. And I was saying, going to that top hold, it doesn't look super easy. It's a long way, hey?
I thought that you'd be able to shift your weight over to the left and have your right foot up there, and so it'd be a bit easier. But yeah, it's looking a bit harder than I expected. I think some of the smaller climbers actually might have an easier time with that move.
So, sticks a swing again.
Like, I'm a little worried about that black tape, too.
Yeah, of course, the black tape marks the edge of the boulder, so you're not allowed to touch around to the side of the wall. You can see the black tape immediately right of Will. That's to designate the limit of the boulder. He's not having to use much energy here. Plenty of time to chalk up and prepare for the next move.
I know that Will is also a really good lead climber, and so he probably is getting some back on that rest.
Time is up, but he has left the ground, so he can finish his attempt. This does look promising. He's been here before. Oh, it's going to be tough for Will. He's got to put that to the back of his mind now, though, as he disappears back inside.
I know, missing out on the top can definitely be a little devastating, especially when you have one hand on it.
So, out onto the mats, we've got our first female climber, Francisca Sterra, Nicola Pelosson of France, out onto men's 1. So Francisca enjoying the first go.
Yeah, when I see boulders like this, I call them attempt boulders, because they're boulders with certain sequences like run and jumps or dynos that attempts will really matter.
They just eat up attempts as well, because you're not really using any energy, hey, so the tiredness doesn't stop you. You could use 10 attempts here if you're not careful.
Exactly. Run and jumps, every time I see a run and jump, the focus is usually to flash, or to get as little attempts as possible.
Do you find that they're almost a mind game? Like if you don't flash it, you then start overthinking it?
Actually, yeah. It's best to just, you gotta really, when I'm climbing and competing, my mind's usually pretty blank, and so you just gotta, especially when you have a run and jump, just have ultra focus and worry about those attempts. Try to minimize them. Yeah, the French climber also fell trying to go for the top. I will hope this won't be a trend.
It'd be interesting. Maybe it would be a move that suits you, the taller climbers.
Yeah, but that foot is really high too.
Yeah. Yeah, you were saying it might suit the smaller climbers, we should see.
The being able to push up.
Francisca Sterra sticks that move. Quick fist pump midway up the boulder.
And She's looking good. Yeah, this should be a top.
It
Nice.
is. Great start to the great start to the final. She had a look at the drop and suddenly didn't like the look of it. It is high, that boulder.
Yeah, I definitely think this boulder's going to come down to who can do it the quickest and get that run and jump.
So that is a top already of women's 1. Nothing as of yet on men's 1. Nicola. Like Will, ignoring that right-hand foothold. It's interesting, when we were having a look at the boulders earlier, it's not something, certainly not something I picked up on, that they might just ignore that right foothold altogether.
Yeah, me neither.
But that's what they're doing.
But he's very close. Oh.
He's still got 1 minute 10 on the clock. City on the mat, head in hands. He's close. I think this is something we're going to see a bit more of. Climbers attempting this, touching the top hold and then not quite finishing it. Will Bosi, Nicola Pelosson, exactly the same situation.
I hope he has enough energy to, if he gets back to that position, if he can push out to the top.
So he's got 30 seconds left. Looks a bit despondent. Like you were saying, it can eat up the attempts. And I don't think it will be fatigue that's keeping him on the mat. I think he's just almost thinking it through in his head and making sure he's not missing anything. Got every move dialed. He goes 10 seconds ahead of time up. So he sticks the swing, so time is up.
Oh, he hit the black tape. And I was worried about that, the swing.
Yep, and the judges call him down. So no, he gets the bonus. No tops though, men's 1 yet to be topped.
He did flash the bonus though, which might serve him well.
For those of you who haven't watched bouldering before, it's a 4-tier scoring system. The most important measurement is how many tops you got. If the climbers are tied, it comes down to how many attempts those tops took. If they're still tied, it's who got the most bonus holds, and if they're still tied, it's who took the fewest attempts to get those bonus holds. The bonus hold, of course, is a hold midway along the boulder, marked with some blue tape and a round tab saying bonus.
I think we're gonna see one of the girls try to static that move as much as possible. Like, it seems like it might be possible.
Baptiste Omets, meanwhile, he's out on men's 1. Tara Hayes of the UK, women's 1, and looking quite promising at this stage. Should be a big roar from the English contingent. There it is.
Nice.
Second attempt, I think.
Yeah, that should do her well.
So Baptiste. Haven't seen a top yet on this men's 1. I thought we'd see quite a few, I have to say. Still a long way to go, of course. And you can see there how hard it is to not go beyond the black tape.
Yeah, I can assure you that it's in every competitor's mind going for that jump. Not crossing that black tape. I know it would be the only thing I'm thinking about jumping.
Yeah, it makes life difficult because the swing takes you far beyond the black tapes. You've somehow got to keep your feet away from the wall as you go past it.
Yeah, the first two climbers did a pretty good job of not crossing it.
Baptiste does seem to be swinging even more, I think, than the other two climbers.
Yeah. I think Baptiste maybe a bit taller and a bit bigger than the other two competitors, so holding that swing may be a little bit more difficult for him.
Just about. There is a team of 4 judges underneath, so if none of them think he touched beyond the black, he definitely didn't. No shortage of manpower to make that decision.
Oh, he's not using the right beta.
What do you think the right beta is here? Just talk us through it.
I think you reach, yep, and then you get the heel. I think that's what the others did. Or you get the left heel and then ruck over. Yep.
You can see there is a small foothold there for the right. It's not immediately obvious, but it is there.
Oh, but he might be able to reach this. Oh, oh.
And that was perfectly timed with the 1-minute buzzer. Yeah, that black tape really does alter the whole nature of this boulder.
Yeah.
Because instead of it just being a wild lunge to the right, suddenly it's got to be controlled. Makes life a lot tougher.
Yeah.
He looks a bit disconsolate. 30 seconds left for him. Not sure, he's almost as if he's looking for someone in the crowd to reassure him.
I know that when I'm competing and I can look out and see some familiar faces, it always makes me feel better. So maybe that's what he's doing.
So he sets himself up again. Oh. And that is time up for Baptiste. So it is Japan and Japan. Sarika Okawachi in the women's competition and Ryohei Kamiyama in the men's. I've already seen Sarika in the Senior World Cup in 2016, 27th in Kazo. Back in April, second World Cup of the year that was.
Yeah, the Japanese have so many strong boulders. It's pretty incredible. And just strong competitors in general in the lead also.
They also got amazing outdoor bouldering. It looks a fantastic place to climb, Japan. Unfortunately, when we were there for Kazo, we didn't stay long enough to go outdoor climbing, but it's just a country that seems to breed top climbers. What a 2016 that they've had. Tomoe Narasaki, of course, did the double. World Cup overall winner and World Championship winner. Miho Nanaka, who we'll see shortly, second overall, second in Paris. Kokoro Fuji's had a great year. It's been an amazing year for their team.
This is what I thought some of the competitors would do, is try to
So Sarika Okawachi, no success just yet. Meanwhile on men's one, Ryohei Kamiyama also no success. I'm really surprised that boulder's not been topped yet. I thought that would see quite a few tops. That move up to the final hold, obviously tougher than it looks. So Sarika, different beta this time.
Yeah, both the Japanese climbers seem to be having a hard time with the coordination moves. It's actually very strange because a lot of the Japanese climbers are very good at this style. Like Tomoe Narasaki is so good at coordination. It's actually incredible.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing on moves like this.
Yeah, I think actually Tomoa just aged out of youth last year. I saw him in Arco.
Yeah, he's still only 20, hard to believe. He was in the junior category last year. So that's 1 minute to go on the buzzer. Neither climb with the top yet. Sarika, of course, she would be the first woman not to top this women's one. Even at this early stage, you'd have thought you need this if you want to feature in the podiums.
Yeah, it seems like she's just having a hard time with that movement.
It's quite strange. She seems to be coming away from the wall as she does it. Not able to stay close in. That was a bit more like it.
I know that the first girl switched her feet. She had her left foot on the right feature, and so she was able to stay closer to the wall.
And there's the buzzer for 2-3-0 seconds to go. Time up. Last attempt. Sarika, she burned a lot of attempts there. We will confirm exactly how many, but she used a lot of attempts. No top either for Ryohei.
Yeah, I don't think he got the bonus either.
No. Don't think he did. So this is a familiar face to climbing fans. Miho Nanaka.
Yeah, I hope to see her do this boulder quickly.
She won 2 World Cups this year at senior level. Mumbai and Munich. Really, really good year for her. This is her last year in youth competition. Lining it up. So no flash. Meanwhile, Borna Čučić is out of Croatia. I'm just looking if he got flagged for stepping outside the black tape there. I don't think he did.
Yeah, that was really close.
Miho goes again. Nope. It's 2 attempts from Miho.
I really hope she's able to put it together for this run and jump. Oh, wow. It's that first top.
Top on men's one. Big statement early on from Borna. 2 climbers still to come, Nicolas Collin of Belgium and Georg Palmer of Austria, but that is the first top of men's one.
Yeah, that boulder may actually favor some of the taller climbers because he was able to reach that top a lot easier.
She'll see, we can't quite decide if it's easier for the tall or easier for the small, that one. Miho Nanaka just really practicing those first few moves, not liking this. You can see there is a big green hold on the side of that red volume. She's not just trying to slap the volume, she's going for a good hold, but from where she's starting it is absolutely blind. You know the hold's there from your inspection, but you can't see it from the start. She's pretty close that time.
She's running up a lot of attempts though. This might matter later.
Especially given that 2 climbers have already topped this.
Yeah, this boulder, not doing an entire boulder in the finals. This is I hope I'm wrong.
Especially on a boulder that has already been topped. It's one thing if no one's getting it. Miho needs this. She was close last time.
Nice.
Even closer this time. And there we go, perfect illustration. When we were looking at the boulders, I said to you, getting your foot onto the bonus is going to be hard. And you said the girls are so flexible.
Yeah,
And
they're
Miho
so
proves it.
Miho, all the Japanese team actually is just so flexible, and so I'm not surprised that she used that beta, and I'm really glad to see her top that.
So Miho, I think that took a bit more out of her than the men's boulders taking out the men. She walked off fairly out of breath. Got it done, but yeah, as you say, I wonder if those attempts might count against her further down the line. Meanwhile, Johanna Faber is out. Nicolas Collin of Belgium also out.
I know that Johanna made the final last year in bouldering in A, and so she's first year, so it's pretty cool to see the first years repping.
Yeah, Kai Leitner next to me is a bit of a secret stato, is that fair to say? Statistician? You love your climbing stats?
Yeah, I love looking at the World Cups, and I've been following them since I was little, and since I knew what they were. And so I know like everybody's stats, all the top World Cup climbers. It was kind of surreal when I first entered my first international comp, seeing some of these guys.
You were saying that even your mum laughs at your encyclopedic knowledge.
She does. It's really bad. I know almost all results from almost every World Cup that I can remember.
That is OCD at its finest.
Yeah.
Johanna Faber here. One top was enough to get you into this final after the semi-finals, and Johanna flashed the one boulder she managed to top in the semis. Qualified her second extremely tough round yesterday in the semis.
Yeah, I watched the semis for female juniors, and it seemed really difficult. The first three boulders no one was able to do, and bonuses were pretty scarce. So I think this is a really hard round. But a lot of the top girls made it into the final anyway, which is still really good. Although we do have one notable missing person, which is Stasha Geho.
Yes, Stasha is here. She didn't qualify for the final, 7th place. Always a bit of a cruel place to finish. So, Johanna Faber gets it this time. And you'd have thought she should make it from here. She will, nice and controlled. So, 4 out of 5 women have topped that women's one. Just give you a quick update of the scores. Borna Čučić remains the only man to have topped men's one. And then we have 4 women who've topped women's one. Men's one, if you can get a top of this, really puts you in a good position with the rest of the competition coming up.
Yeah, the Croatian guy is sitting really, really good right now. He flashed first boulder. He flashes boulder.
Yeah, Borna, great start from him. Georg Palmer still to come of Team Austria, and Margot Hayes of Team USA. Not yet out in the women's. But it seems already, even at this stage, that in the women's competition you probably need a top of boulder one. And in the men's, if you get a top, you already have a massive advantage.
Absolutely, I would. Oh, nice. I would agree with that.
It's really hard to tell actually if the male climbers are touching outside the black tape. But as I say, we've got a whole team of judges down there, so plenty of eyes on it. At full speed though, it's really hard to judge. This looks promising. I wonder if there's anything to be said for just going fast and dynamically up for the underpress. I mean, it's pretty positive.
It's pretty scary also. Oh.
He got a thumb to it, but he won't get a top, so Borna remains the only one of our climbers with a top of men's 1, and it was a flash. Tara Hayes of UK leads the way currently in the women's. Took her 3 attempts to top women's 1. Here's Margot Hayes, a climber you know well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see her on this boulder. Jumps definitely aren't her favorite, but I think she'll do well. She's already won gold in the lead, and so seeing her in the bouldering, she's gonna be happy with this. She won silver last year in Arco.
And we have seen her in a couple of senior World Cup boulder events this year.
Yeah, she made finals in Vail last year. She's just super strong. She's been doing 9A outside and she's had some really good competition results.
She did that statically, but came back, didn't like it. One more Georg Palmer. Austria inching his way rightwards. Really good first men boulder this. When Borna flashed it, it actually looked quite easy, but the other 6 climbers have all found it really tricky.
Yeah, the men's boulders looked really stout. If Margot can just get to this boulder, I think that the others will suit her a lot better.
Georg Palmer certainly not rushing his attempts, really taking his time, trying to figure out exactly how to move centimetre by centimetre. No success so far, so Margot Hayes is back on.
Oh. Oh.
Bit of a nasty fall for Margot there. She went in between the mat and the wall. Okay, so both climbers 1 minute 30, just under left.
Ah.
Margot Hayes again, a foot in between the mat and the wall. Maybe need to push that mat a tiny bit closer.
She knows what to do though, so
I think she's extremely close on the last attempt.
Nice. Nice.
No black tape on the women's boulder.
Yeah, luckily.
No.
Come on, Margot.
Yeah, feet went right out. Must have been a metre further right than the red.
Come on, Margot, get this done. Come on. Come on. Oh, come on, Margot.
Luckily, we are completely neutral here in the commentary box. Did you hear Kyle Heitner?
Oh, come on. Come on.
Marco just trying to figure out how to get that foot up. It's interesting. You see Miho Nanaka, once she got to here, just cruised to the top.
Oh. Come on, Margot. Come on, Margot.
Inching closer, Margot Hayes. Surely now, surely. Just needs to stand up, has a final chalk up, and does it. There we go, top for Margot. I think the facial expression says everything.
Should definitely be relieved with that. She just needed to top.
Jogs off the stage. Remember, of course, no top for Georg Palmer. Remember, of course, that the climbers are going to have an extra rest because we do have 7 men, 6 women. Do you think that extra rest is useful, or I mean, to you, what is your ideal resting period between boulders?
Well, actually, in this format, it can actually be really weird timing your warm up because you're sitting back there so long, and when you come out for the boulders, if it's too easy and you flash, then you just have so much time to sit back there, you kind of get cold. And if it's a really hard boulder and you're trying super hard, then it may not be enough time. So. Yeah, it can be pretty weird.
So just to let you know on the scores, Tara Hayes, Great Britain. I can be partisan too. Great Britain takes an early lead in the women's. Borna Čučić takes a early lead in the men's. He's the only person to top, and it was a flash.
He's going to be sitting really well in the next boulders. May see a bit of an upset. I wasn't expecting the Croatian.
No, I know. He qualified 3rd though. So now the crowd all move over. That is the last we'll see of that section of wall. That was part of the lead wall. Those 2 boulders were located at the bottom of a lead wall. We now move on to the specific bouldering part of the wall.
Yeah, you're always relieved once you can move on from the slab.
Well, some climbers are. But what was interesting, we watched you in Youth A. I mean, it was only 2 hours ago. You came out and cruised that low angle first route. I mean, you really look comfortable on it.
Well, coming out to that boulder, I felt like it was one of those types of boulders that if I could get it in a low amount of attempts, that I'd be really set up nicely for the next few rounds, and that actually proved to be true. And so, I don't know, that boulder was definitely more so my style and the holds, and I really enjoy slopers and pinches because my hands are so big, and so I was really at home on that boulder.
So Will Bosey's out. Came so close on men's 1. Now we've got on with men's 2. Really burly boulder this. It's going to be super physical. And as with boulder 1 and as for boulder 3 and 4, he'll be on his own. Had a really long youth career, as you mentioned, Will Bosey.
Yeah, this boulder looked really hard in preview.
Yeah, those 2 round bubble volumes, as I say, they'd be giving the climbers nightmares when they fall asleep on the flight back to Europe or the States because they've cropped up a few times. They've been causing problems all week.
Yeah, it definitely looked pretty difficult. I've always really enjoyed the slopers, and so I get really happy when I see those volumes. But yeah, the way they're positioned on this boulder it looks really difficult. Like, I think he's doing it correctly, but it's just a really hard move. Nice.
So, well, there aren't really any additional bolt-on holds or anything. You do. It's pretty much the volumes. That's it.
Oh, he's looking really good. He should be a top.
Now then, this was another thing we disagreed on. Of course, you are the expert, but I said this last move is no pushover. But you were quite confident that what climbers...
I think it'll be okay, yeah, see?
Yeah, no, you're right. Oh, can't believe it. I certainly from the ground, that move to the top looked pretty tough. But you were right. Not too hard for the climbers, just got to keep your composure. So, Will Bosey. We were discussing how the climbers will have extra rest due to there being 7 in the men's competition, but doesn't matter too much when he does the boulder so quickly. I think that was second attempt? Second or third?
Yeah, second.
We'll wait as the results come through. Pretty sure that was the second attempt. So, Sarika Okawachi, the only female climber without a top on number 1. Borna Chucic, the only man with a top on number 1. Yep, it was 2. Second attempt for Will Bosey there. Men's 2. So now we'll have a male and female climber out. Nicola Pelosson and Francisca Sterra. So here they come. Here's Francisca. Nicola slightly behind. Makes his way out onto men's 2. So first look at women's 2. As we mentioned during the inspection period, it's a really complicated looking boulder. Francisca.
Yeah, this boulder is pretty hard to read for the women.
There's just so many holes, there's so many potential moves you could do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the right way. Yep, I think she's looking good. She's got the bonus, so.
So bonus, but no top. Actually quite difficult to really get a feel for the boulder, even though she's been to the bonus. There's just so much to it.
Oh, absolutely. It's funny, you can try a boulder like that, you can try and still not know what to do. She's kind of gotta feel her way out.
Just having a shake out before she tries again. Nicola getting stuck into men's 2, already been topped by Will Bosey. Work up the volumes, it's so physical when you've got to hug a volume like that. No, can't get onto the second one. So Francisca.
Nice. Ah.
Both climbers down on the mats right now. Night has fallen here in Guangzhou, as you can see behind. It goes dark early, it's only 6 o'clock. Right down on the south coast of China, but their version of winter is coming. It's certainly not our version of winter, but it's still warm and sunny here. Conditions have been really weird this week, hey? We've had everything from extreme heat and humidity to freezing cold, rain.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Like the first day, warmed up and had a long endurance sequence right for the lead, and I was still pumped from it half an hour later. And then 2 days later, I was freezing and warming up in 2 jackets.
So Francisca Sterra making good progress. Here's the furthest she's been up yet.
Yeah, she looks really good.
Meanwhile, Nicola, nothing yet on men's 2. Will Bosey made pretty light work of it. We both thought when we were looking at these bowlers that this would be a really problematic one, but certainly didn't look it for Will. Nicola, however, find it much more physical. I think he's going to have time for one more go. He does. Ditto Francisca Sterra, so both climbers off the ground. Time's up, but they can carry on.
Yeah, Will looked really good on that boulder the second go. It was actually pretty surprising. I thought I may have been wrong about this boulder, but maybe not. Maybe Will's just really good on that boulder.
So we can focus on Francisca.
She looks in a very awkward position. Yeah, I think maybe she should have, I don't know if she was in the right position, but got her hand out on that big yellow volume and tried to mantle it out.
Yeah, as I say, it's so complex. I think we're going to see multiple different solutions. Men's 2, meanwhile. Simple, it would seem, but brutal. Yeah, as I said, already night here in Guangzhou, but it's still warm. Hard to believe that 48 hours ago it was about 5 degrees and everyone had down jackets on. It's still pretty warm, somewhere around 20 Celsius, I'd say.
Yeah, today it turned out to be warm. In ISO, we were all so hot, like just sitting there. We were just dripping puddles of water. We actually all were lined up at the opening of the door so that when the breeze blew, when we could feel it.
Yeah, it was super hot. How are conditions on the wall for you? I mean, it didn't seem ideal.
Yeah, well, I'm from North Carolina, and it's pretty hot year-round there, and so I'm used to the heat. And it's very humid also. It's not just hot. Like, you walk outside, and when I'm wearing my glasses, they'll start fogging up. Like, it's pretty crazy.
So you're used to it. It certainly seemed like you had the worst of the conditions. Let's keep an eye here on the Baptiste Omets. No problem.
Yeah, he looked really good on that boulder.
Yeah, he really cruised out. It never ceases to amaze me how bowlers can look super hard 1 minute, and then Baptiste comes out, cruises it. 3 minutes still left on the clock, and he's back into ISO.
That should put him in the lead with his bonus on number 1.
Tara Hayes here. She is in the lead at this very early stage. Well, she was after boulder 1. She won't be now. Francisca Sterra's got that additional bonus, but well, we shall see actually. We'll see how we're doing for attempts, but either way, Tara was in the lead after 1 boulder. Here she is on the second.
Oh, she looks really good. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's a harder move on the hips than it looks. Having your hip up so high with your knee higher than your hip.
Yeah, she looks really good on this boulder.
Well, if she could make it 2 tops from 2, what a start that would be. Especially given that she had the fewest attempts on boulder 1. You can tell she's having to fight there. Skips out the black. No, she doesn't skip out the black volume. Does need it after all.
Ah.
That to me looked like possibly the way to do it if that left foot had landed.
Oh, that's definitely the way to do it. You just next time stick that foot on. Maybe go a little bit more controlled.
Let's just have another look at Baptiste Omets. It's just no problem for Baptiste. So Francisca looked very close that time.
Yeah, Baptiste is really good at. He's such a powerful climber, and he climbs so hard outside. And
that's the effect of 7 days in a row competition climb. This is your 7th day, hey?
Yeah,
You've done everything.
Yeah, I've except for speed, I didn't do speed, so I got one rest day.
Ah, of course, yeah. But you've got good speed credentials, haven't you? You've been under 9?
Yeah, I've gotten an 8, and I would have liked to compete at our nationals, but I was injured when our national championships was happening, so I was unable to qualify.
And that's a shame there for
Tara Hayes.
Tara Hayes. Calling her Francisca.
Yeah, that top would have done her really well. Yeah, I was saying that I'm not surprised about Baptiste Metz doing so well in that boulder because he climbs so well outside and he's so powerful.
So just waiting for the scores to come through. Let's say Tara Hayes, apologies for calling her Francisca there. She had an early lead after boulder 1. We'll confirm how many attempts it took her to get that bonus. So back out onto the stage, we've got Ryohei Kameyama and Sarika Okawachi. Now Sarika really needs this. Oh, she's in danger of being left behind in this final because she was the only woman not to get a top on number 1. Come on, Sarika. We want to go into the last boulder with everyone fighting for the win.
Absolutely.
Japan on the mats right now. Sarika looking pretty composed up to now.
Yeah, she looks pretty good. Yeah, she looks probably the most comfortable on this boulder. Wow. So she's got bonus.
So bonus already. Now what's the beater here? We saw Tara Hayes go initially up to the crimp and then not like it and use the volume. This looks tenuous, but it's working.
I don't know. I think she's going to try to go for the black. Oh, wow.
Yeah, she needed to do that move quickly, and she did, and this would put her right back in it if she can top this.
I think this is her flash attempt also.
It's hard to, with 2 minutes still to go, I think you're right.
Oh, she's lining up for the finish. Oh,
Close, but no cigar this time.
She knows what to do, luckily, so.
Ryohei Kameyama is launched himself at men's 2 with no joy. Really interesting climbers seem to have been split down the middle with that one. They either find it, I don't want to say easy, but relatively straightforward or virtually impossible.
Exactly.
There's not been, no climbers come close to doing it. They've either done it comfortably or just not at all.
Yeah, I think it's just a style thing. Some of the climbers are more dynamic. I hope the Japanese climber can do this climb.
Yeah, it'd be great to see. Sarika, no, not this time. Still got 50 seconds left.
Yeah, she's probably just gonna dwindle down her time.
Getting the holes cleaned. Both climbers still down on the mats now. You suspect They might have. Will they have one more attempt and try and save a bit of time, or will they use up all 30 seconds of their rest time? Let's have a look. So Sarika goes 10 seconds or so ahead of time. Raya Hay pretty much on the buzzer, not far off. Both underway.
Yeah, this is a very odd looking boulder.
So Raya Hay off, he won't top men's 2. I think she's going to go for the slap again. It didn't look a very high percentage move. Didn't.
No, I think she should have
It
done.
looked a risky move.
I think she should have tried what Tara did, which is go over to the black volume with her right hand and try to move up from there.
So the boulder's getting a pretty thorough clean. Next out, we will have Borna Tucic again, who flashed men's 1, and Miho Nanaka, silver medalist, Senior World Championships in Paris, and second in the overall World Cups as well. Amazing year for her. Shauna Coxey just denied her in the World Cups, and Petra Klingler denied her in the World Championships, but she's certainly the favourite to win here. Didn't look dominant at all on that first women's boulder.
No, but it's just one of those boulders where it'll take a lot of attempts, but as long as the setters continue to set hard boulders, she'll rise to the top.
So Borna, he doesn't continue his record of flashing in the final.
Yeah, he's already in a good position, but it'll put him in an even better position if he's able to do this boulder.
Miho, meanwhile, you'd have thought her amazing flexibility, which you've already mentioned, might help her out on this boulder, getting the feet up high next to your hands. We shall see.
Absolutely. I don't think Miho will have many problems with this boulder at all. I think this boulder is right up her alley. Wow, that was close. She's looking good.
So let's So Miho trying that move over to the left. This is what I was talking about. That flexibility could help, just getting a foot a bit higher.
I would have expected her to see that beta of putting her right hand on that black volume.
So 1 minute 15 left for these two climbers. Borna would take the lead again if he can top this. Did Will Bosey, that was a flash on this, hey?
No, Will was second go, but both Baptiste was a flash. Oh, nice.
So he will have the lead.
No, attempts the bonus. But if he can top this, it won't matter.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's got it.
Okay, and you were 100% right about that move to the top. It's not super hard. I take it all back. It looked it from below.
It looked good.
Right, so Miho, you suspect this might be her last attempt because this boulder's just so complex. You burn up time getting to the key section.
Okay, she looks really good on this boulder. I hope she's able to keep it together.
So many different methods. Miho go for you. The wall is much steeper than it looks on this angle, by the way. It's severely overhanging on the lower section where Miho's feet are. It does ease off a bit on the next panel where her right hand is, but it's one of those boulders that from front on you kind of wonder why she can't just walk up there, and then you go underneath it and you think, that's a good angle. Let me see the angle a bit better.
Come on, Miho.
You can see the look of concentration.
Yes.
Now this is where that flexibility might come in, as I say, getting that foot high. Is she going to use that intermediate hold? It looks as if she's eyeing the top. No, she's not just going to lunge. No, I thought I could see in her eye line. She was just looking straight at the top.
I think she might. Still, come on. Oh, she didn't.
No, it's a shame. It never really looked on, did it?
She should have committed.
So Miho walks off, bit disappointed, doesn't look over the moon with that. See there, we're now in complete darkness here in Guangzhou. Quick recap of the score. So Borna also topped boulder 2. So he will be in the lead. Baptiste Omets will be second. We do rely on the local Chinese internet for our scores here. Sometimes it's great, and sometimes the firewall gets that bit higher and we're denied the scores temporarily. We always get there in the end.
Yeah, it can definitely be a struggle, especially when all you want to do is post to Instagram.
I suppose if you've just won 2 silver medals in the space of a few days, you probably do want to post to Instagram. So Nicolas Collin and Johanna Ferber of Austria. This is Johanna. There's Nicolas, bottom right. Goes back on for another go. Not too much joy on the first time. It seems to be a boulder that rewards persistence. See, she's just trying to figure out how to get that move left. Nicolas Collin, meanwhile, no joy yet. Men's 2. It's going through in his head. Can't quite believe just how powerful this boulder is. Mind you, some of the climbers we've had out so far don't seem to have struggled with it too much. Got double silver medalists in these championships. Kai Leitner alongside me, bouldering and lead with his extensive fan club. So I was chatting to some of the coaches earlier, Kai. They're saying I should ask you about Kung Fu Panda. When you were, was it 8 years old, and you threw a bit of a tantrum at a climbing competition? They said I should embarrass you on air, so here we go. Well, we've got both the climbers on the mat.
That was bad. I was 8 at one of my first competitions, and I had a Nintendo DS, and one of the games on there was Kung Fu Panda, and they took the game console away from me because they said you could communicate with people on the other side, and it made me upset. I almost refused to climb.
Well, I got asked to bring that up, and I thought, if I get the opportunity, I might ask him about that. The only climbing tantrum about Kung Fu Panda in the history of the sport that I'm aware of. Maybe you guys at home know about.
We've come a long way since then.
It was last week, hey? It's isolation for the lead competition here in Guangzhou. I'm joking. I'm sorry, I got asked to bring it up. So,
that's all right.
So yeah, Hannah
It's a pretty
Faber.
funny story. She's having a hard time. I don't think she sees the fact that you can mantle the bottom. Oh, sorry. I don't think she sees the fact that you can mantle the bottom.
So Nikolai, you suspect this will be his last go. Oh no, 10 seconds to go, he's got time for another. Don't rush Nikolai, you got 5 seconds. Goes on a few seconds early. I don't think it'll make too much of a difference. It's a super physical boulder, you need more than a couple of seconds to recover.
Yeah, and this boulder might be pretty important because he didn't top the first one either.
No joy on this one either. Well, already on to our final climbers in this round. Georg Palmer and Margot Hayes. There we see Kai's fan club. That's the cue for autographs. Here's Georg. There's Margot. I asked you this on Boulder 1, but you know her well. Suspect
Yes.
this would be a boulder she gets on with?
Well, actually, it doesn't look particularly like something that would be her style, but Margot's a really good competitor, and so I think she'll be able to get there.
So which category will Georg fall into? Those that cruise this, or those that find it impossible?
Seems to be having a bit of a hard time, yeah.
It's quite unusual we see a boulder that just divides people so perfectly. Either they find it easy or either they find it really hard. We haven't had many people that have had good attempts.
Yeah, Margot's
just been
looking
one way or
really
the
good
other.
on this, though.
She is looking really good. That's you can see the hip flexibility.
She's really good on a crimp, so I think that this
did
is
well there.
looking really
Keep her hips close into the wall. If you can keep your center of gravity close in, makes all the holes feel that much better. Now this looks very promising for Margot. Come on, Margot.
She can just commit to this jump. That should be sitting really, really well. Come on, nice.
There it is. Top from Margot. She's already won the lead competition here in Guangzhou. Don't forget your scorecard, Margot.
Yeah, but that's really good for Margot.
Palmer has yet no bonus. Having to work hard on these initial moves. Such a physical boulder, this. Not much let up either. Men's 3 is pretty brutal. Different style, more pockets than these volumes, but
yeah, but I think the same people who found M2 easy, we'll probably find an M3 easy as well, because it's a very powerful boulder.
I suspect you're right. So 1 minute left. As things stand, not making much progress on men's 2. Might just find the key bit of information he needs. He's now on his own, out on the mats. Margot Hayes topped and back into isolation.
Yeah, that top of female 2 is really good for her. She's the only person top there, right?
I think so. We'll keep our fingers crossed for his score update.
Don't mean to be biased or anything.
No, of course not. You can be biased, that's fine. Yeah, pretty sure that was the only female top on number 2, it was. What a day of bouldering it's been here in Guangzhou. This is our 3rd final of the day. No joy for Georg there. No, time's up. Thought he might just have time for another, but no.
Yeah, the Croatian looks really good right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Borna is, as I say, qualified 3rd out of the semi-final. He's something of a bolt out of the blue in this World Youth Championship final. And we can see the women's scores. Margot Hayes there, perfect start, 2 tops, taken at 8 attempts. We will see if that comes back to haunt her. Meanwhile, Tara Hayes currently still sitting 2nd. She was leading after the first boulder. Francisca Serra, Miho Nanaka down in 4th. Surely she's going to end up higher than that. She was the favourite to win. Johanna Ferber and Sarika Okawachi, the remaining climbers in that top 6. Sarika needs a top to get back into this. So let's have a look. Oh, got the men as well, superb. So you see there, Borna, 2 tops, 5 attempts. Baptiste and Will, 1 top each. Further down the order, we've got the 2 Nicolas and then Georg Palmer and Ryohei Kameyama. So Borna, yeah, I was just saying actually, I don't want to say a bolt out of the blue, but yeah, possibly a name you wouldn't have expected to see leading at the start of the week, but he's looked superb all week, looked good in qualifiers, 3rd in the semis, leading the way halfway through this men's junior final. Previous best result, just to give you some idea, in a European Youth Cup was 4th. That was back in 2013, so really exceeding expectations here and climbing superbly to lead this final. Also climbing superbly, Will Bosey, really close to a top, on men's 1, and got it on men's 2.
I was actually able to go on the ladder and feel those holes, and they're not good.
No, those black holes at the end are dual textures, so that means that part of them is high friction and part of them is, I don't want to say no friction, close to no friction, terrible friction.
Yeah, and the last of the 3 actually, the bottom is the best part. If any of the athletes try to slap up high, maybe bad news.
So Will read this lower section perfectly, got the turn, so you go with the right hand to the first of those orange pockets, then rotate to the second one and rotate again, so you go through a full 360 degrees. We saw it, we'll talk you through it this time. We were just talking about Borna Čučić at the time.
Well, this is a super powerful boulder. You're kind of you're campusing on small pockets, and having the strength to be able to hold your body up like that is impressive.
So Will, you can see he's got 2 fingers in that pocket, and then in the
yeah, I know that hurt.
yeah, Yeah, I felt that one. That's quite interesting. It looked to me as if he might have got a minor finger injury or something, but actually it's obviously something in the hole. He dropped off it rather than fighting it. Yeah, just a tweak of the fingers. It doesn't look like he's injured himself. Normally when someone really does a pulley or injures a finger badly, you know about it straight away. Just a niggle maybe as well. So he sets himself a go again. First attempt was really good. Just needs to refine that. So he gets the 2 fingers in.
Yeah, there's something about that pocket he's not liking.
That is the way to do it, is to spin like that. But now I wonder if he has just tweaked his fingers. Initially I thought he dropped off because there was something in the hold that made him realise he wouldn't be able to do the move, but that's twice now. He's come down and looked at his hand straight away. He's going for 2 different fingers this time. It's the index finger and the middle finger. Before he was using his middle finger and his ring finger, so now he's back to the middle finger and the ring finger. Now he's just running out of juice as he turns there. I wonder if it's either skin. Obviously you can't see from here. Yeah, it's definitely
seems like it
up
may
with
be
that right
his ring
hand.
finger.
I think it's definitely an injury. As I say, at first glance, it looked as if maybe there was a pebble or something inside the hold, or something putting him off. But it was an injury. Let's have a look what he does this time. He's going to try it again. I wonder what there is to be gained from just trying it again. Right. I'm sure he'll have to try a different method here, because that is clearly not working. He's clearly got an injury now to his, we think it's his ring finger. He's possibly going to try it with 2 different fingers. No, he's going to try the same method again. I wonder if he'll maybe try and not do the rotation in order to try and get some of the weight off that hand. No. I kind of get the impression our thought process is the same as his. How can I do this without rotating?
Absolutely.
He
looks pretty uncomfortable.
It seems like he's acting out what we're saying, which is, okay, I've got to find a new way of doing this. And
yeah, it's pretty interesting when you watch the climbers climb, and a lot of the time you can predict exactly what they're thinking.
The problem is now he's used up his time. When he comes down, that is it. So he can't try one method and then it doesn't work and he tries another. He's going to have to try, he's going to jump through. That's a shame for Will.
Yeah, he looked so good on his first attempt. I thought surely another attempt he would have topped that boulder.
Yeah, he cruised through on the first attempt. There's definitely something up with, I think it's his 4th finger.
And at the moment, he's actually one of the only people, he's one of the top contenders for the podium.
He is currently sitting in 3rd place. That would have been nice. He nearly had it that first time as well. We'll see how that affects him. Let me just find men's 4. I'm just looking around the wall. Men's 4 probably won't hold him back too much. You wouldn't have thought. Just look at men's 4. It's mainly volume based. Relatively small crimp at the start, but after that it's volumes, it's body tension. You might get away with a minor tweak in your finger.
The women's boulder on the left looks very difficult. I actually thought it was the men's boulder at first.
There's Nicolas Pelarson on men's 3, so that's what Will got the first time. And again, stops at the black volume. So let's have a look at Francisca Sterra. This is our first look at women's 3. Of course, Will climbing on his own because there are 7 men in the final this evening. That's quite a cool effect with her silhouetted against the wall, the shadow.
Absolutely. Nice, she caught that.
Holds the swing this time. Not much for it's a relatively easy boulder to read this. It's the lack of footholds that makes it so
She got bonus.
I really don't know how she hung on to that. She really missed the best part of the hole, but somehow seemed to stay on.
Yeah, but she's got bonus, so that's really good.
If you're
The
wondering
boulder
where
looks very hard.
if you're wondering where the fourth starting hole is, by the way, it's just tucked around the corner. You might be able to see a bit of it below and left of where it says F3. So Nicolas Peloson. Just trying to figure it out. He got the cross through, the rotation move, no problem. Now we see, so you go through those three pockets in the middle, two of them on that big rectangular, the big volume in the middle, big orange volume, and diamond-shaped volume, and then you're onto the dual texture holes, up and right, the black holes. You can see there, Francisca, there's the fourth starting hole. It's just around the corner, left hand's on it. No black tape here, she can use that arete. Seems to have the jump pretty sorted. She completely missed the best part of the bonus hole last time, but stayed on it. This time she's got the hole much better.
Oh, she's looking...
Francisca Serra, she could be heading for a top
fighting.
here. Just one move short. I think, look at how much that took out of her. I think we'll see her resting now until the end of the minute. And she'll just give that one more attempt. I could be wrong. We'll keep an eye. But I think we will just see her on the mat, making the most of every second of rest.
She was so close on that attempt. But you could tell by the end of it, she was looking really tired.
It's always a hard decision, isn't it? Whether to try and go with enough time for two goes, or whether to just rest and save everything for that final go.
Well, it typically depends on the boulder. Like, if the boulder is really long, then it's probably best to rest the whole minute. But if you have something like a run and jump or the dyno or a boulder that doesn't have that many moves to it, you just it's probably best to just give as many attempts as possible. But on a boulder like this, I think it's best to rest as much as possible. I think you can tell she's tired.
Yeah, so she went early enough that she could make a mistake on the dyno and still have time for another go. It's exactly what happened. Nicola, meanwhile, underway. Just to let you know, Francisca tried again and didn't get the jump.
Oh, that was so close.
So no tops there. So these third boulders, as yet, not climbed. Tara Hayes of the UK will be out next, and Baptiste Omets, who looked absolutely superb on men's 2, he'll be out onto men's 3. Baptiste eager to get on with it.
The Croatian climber is looking in a better position as every climber goes, because soon we'll be able to see if he's in podium.
He's already got he's already got 2 tops. No one else got more than 1. Only 2 climbers with 1 top, Baptiste Omets and Will Bosey. Amazing start to the competition for him.
That data looks really difficult, actually.
Great to see a new name mixing it up like Borna.
Yeah. This is a boulder that I think Baptiste will look really well on.
It's so hard on the fingers. We've already seen one victim of that, Will Bosey. So Tara Hayes, she's got, I was about to say she got the swing. That was a massive swing. Legs came right underneath her body, right past. Have another look, it's very spectacular.
Yeah, the hole looks better from a distance, and apparently it has to be, because a lot of the girls are having difficulty on that hole.
So women's 3. Tara again, the leg flew up again, but she controlled it this time.
Yeah, she was able to hold that.
And like Francisco, she's now got to figure out how to use her feet here.
I think that heel was good. She was able to stabilize herself really well. Yeah, that hold must be pretty bad.
Baptiste, we just cut to him as he slipped off. You can see him as well holding his finger. It is a savage sequence of moves, that, because there's nothing you can do to get any of the weight off your fingers. You just have to cross through. You never know, one of the climbers might surprise us, might find a different method. Let's have another look. You've got to be accurate as well, because you're moving in the tiny holds. Baptiste got it so far. Baptiste just heading off the stage.
I wonder what the issue is.
We shall see if there's any.
Actually,
he's come back on. I wonder if he's just grabbing perhaps some finger tape. Different shoes. He's got a different pair of shoes. So Tara Hayes. It's frustrating. Sometimes she's got that move, other times she's struggling with it. No, is that Baptiste in odd shoes? It is. Different shoe on the left to the right.
yeah, I've seen Adamandra and some of the climbers do this in the World Cups. I'm actually really surprised because I thought he would have done this boulder quicker. It seems like a boulder that's his style. It shows you how hard these boulders are.
Really cruised men's too.
This really looks like a boulder that actually will suit Miho really well.
Baptiste, you can see each attempt now is taking so much energy, it's harder and harder to be accurate. And he walks off without a top.
Yeah.
Margot Hayes also sitting pretty in the women's competition, 2 tops. We've already had Tara Hayes and Francisca Serra out onto boulder 3. If nobody else tops this boulder, but Margot does, she's won the competition.
That is true.
It's a big if, though.
That's a very big if. We have some very strong competitors to come.
We'll see, though. She's out last. She might come out. She might not know, but she might come out needing to top the boulder and to win the competition with 1 boulder to spare. But that's a long way off. Just speculating. So, Raihei Kameyama, Japan. There he is. Sarika Okawachi. Sarika needs a top to stay in this. Really needs a top. Nails this. Amazing that you can swing so far and then it's on the way back that you slip off.
The Japanese timer looks so strong on that.
We saw this with Baptiste, though. If you keep doing this boulder over and over again, you keep attempting, it takes so much out of you. Baptiste's last attempt, you could see the fatigue in his movements.
This move looks very hard. Feeling those holds, I know that move must be so difficult, like the amount of body tension and compression. Like there's barely anything to grab onto. Those are pretty bad holds.
That's right. I wouldn't have thought stamina would be too much of an issue. Lead climber as well. See, we saw her in Arco earlier this year in the league competition. Admittedly didn't make semis, 39th, but experienced lead climber. Should be able to hang on long enough to figure these moves out. It's just a case of figuring out how to use those feet.
As we can see from Boulder 1, she seems uncomfortable jumping, so.
She got that initial jump pretty sorted, it would seem, on the second attempt. Still plenty of time here, more than half her time allowed. Half her time allowance, excuse me, left. I love that effect of the silhouette on the wall. I think it looks great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
All the lights down here in Guangzhou are down at floor level, so we do get some quite cool light effects. Let's have another look at Raya Haight. Men's 3.
Climbing at night is always pretty cool, especially in a final, and so I think that the juniors in general are probably really enjoying this.
You can see the effect of that dual texture volume. His thumb's he's just getting nothing out of his thumb on that black volume.
Yeah, that move seems maybe a bit too hard.
So Sarika heading up towards the bonus. You've got to go quite high to get the best part of it. She's just a bit low on it right now. That's 1 minute to go. She's just looking at it, just trying to figure out if there's anything she's missed. I don't think there is. Maybe you could place the foot before you go for the bonus. Maybe you just cut loose. Again, I get the impression we might be vocalizing what she's thinking.
Exactly.
Raya Haight, meanwhile, is having a final rest. What's his tactic here? Go at the last second or try and save time for an emergency second attempt if he needs it?
I think he's been cruising the campus section every attempt he's had, so I think he won't have a problem with that, but those dual texture holds are just really bad.
Just got my eye on him. He is going to wait until the last second. We'll focus on Sarika Akawachi though. He's trying to get the right foot up this time. Anything to get a bit higher up on that bonus. No success. No, and neither for Raya Haight. So the third bowlers really splitting the competition. Out next we'll have Miho Nanaka, currently sitting down in fourth. Possibly most people's favourite to win this competition. I think most people would have put their money on her. And Borna Čučić as well of Croatia.
One thing you learn from these competitions, though, is you never count them out. These heavy hitters, they can always turn it on at any moment.
A top here would really throw the cat amongst the pigeons.
Oh, yeah.
And meanwhile for Borna, top here, wow. 2 tops already for him. Flash the first bowler. A few more attempts on the second one, but got it done in the end. Great climbing in Croatia. Paklanicha and a few other cracks. Miho, again, controls the swing, but it's as she comes back. I've seen that a couple of times. So here's Borna. I don't think he's quite read the rotation. Yeah, I think he has now. It looked as if he didn't read that he needed a spin, or that really didn't want to, one of the two.
That moves like that can really hurt your fingers, so I would really understand if he really didn't want to do that move.
It's just saw him there shake his hand. Doesn't look like a man who's having a lot of fun on men's 3. Meanwhile, you can see on the bottom right of your screen there, Miho Nanaka, she's got the swing this time.
Yeah, she looks good. I actually, looking at this boulder, thought this looked like a boulder that was her style.
And she's just short on the bonus. I wonder if having the heel up is actually not helping, because it's just meaning she can't get her torso high enough, her knee's in the way.
Exactly, I don't think the high heel is the beta. I think she should just keep her feet low and jump. That's what the Austrian did.
Yeah, the problem is that the angle of the wall is such you can't get much out of your feet just from smearing them. It's a very steep section of wall. So this time she nails the swing just. Again, when she started to come back, it started to look
she's keeping the heel.
difficult.
Yeah, this looks good.
This looks very promising for Miho. You were just saying, don't count her out. Top here would be a big statement. Borna really not getting on at all with men's 3. Either, as I say, hasn't quite read the cross. So you think with the group observation they'd all have the same BT, you would imagine, but either doesn't quite spot it or doesn't like it. I think doesn't like it. I'm sure they all sussed out together the beta on that one.
To me seems pretty obvious. I think it's more so just willingness to do it.
Yeah.
And if you know you don't have the strength for the move, you might be trying to find out another sequence.
Well, I think that could be the thing. Yeah, it's one of those moves where physically you can either do it or you can't. It's not about practicing it. I mean, a lot of moves you see, if you practice it and you get to know the hold better and the move better, you can kind of learn the move. But if you just don't have the horsepower for a certain move, there's not much you can do. Now this is good so far, but it's how now to get the right hand free. No, it's not the boulder for him. 2 tops already though, he's still looking good. And he'll have time for another attempt. Now Miho, she's already had one hand on the top hold here. Launches, again a hand on the top. No success for Miho. She gets the bonus comfortably enough. Let's have another look at the swing. It was just about hung on to that. So Miho under a lot of pressure.
With that, yeah.
She will be unhappy. How do you deal with it when you've had a boulder that you feel you should have done better on? What can you do? Do you just focus on process? You just think, okay, next boulder?
I think that if you have a boulder where you really think that you should have done better on, you really just have to clear it out of your head and focus on the next one and analyze it once you're done with the competition. Like, keeping it in your head while you're competing is never a good thing. It can bring you down.
So here's Johanna Ferber, second Austrian in this women's final. Nicola Collin. Nicola might be familiar to people that normally watch league climbing. We've already seen him in a final, 2016. That was Vilar, 21st there.
Semi-final.
Sorry, semi-final, yes. Yeah, it would be a big final. There'd be a lot of tied results if he was in the final in 21st. Yeah, sorry. Semi-final, well spotted. I do apologise.
Yeah.
Third final of the day. Sorry, my brains.
He made the youth final and lead this competition.
Yeah, he did.
And so he should be in a good position for the all-around.
Yeah, my apologies, 21st is not a place in the final. You'd tired me out. I was getting stressed watching you. That was the problem in Youth A. So let's have a look. What can Johanna do? So most of the women have been okay on those lower moves. Just needs to sort the beater out. Let's have a look. Nikolai, will he? No, he doesn't like the cross through either.
Once you do it, you're stuck.
That's the problem. He's now stuck. I mean, the problem is when you do it like that, that left hand is so far over to the left that you really have to go dynamically, and that means you've got to be so accurate.
Exactly.
So this looks promising for Johanna Ferber. Exactly the same spot as Miho and Nanaka touched the top hold. Interesting because the first attempt on the boulder, she really struggled with the early moves. And then once she was through them, cruised the rest so close to the top. It looks like there must be a method of getting a bit more weight onto your feet there.
Yeah, I think that in that sequence, you just have to release the heel and just jump for that top hold.
So trying the figure of four there, Nicola Collin. We normally see that in ice climbing.
I believe that the bonus hold may be a mono also, so.
I think it is, yes. He's got to, if you're not going to cross through, you've got to be so accurate. I think it can be done without crossing through, but I don't think so sure. That is a desperately hard move no matter how you do it. So Johanna Ferber. Just trying to suss out how to get something out of the feet. Nails the bonus. Now what will she try and do? Could she try and get something out of her right foot? No, she's just going to try the same again. Will it work this time? No. Well, she knows she's got a long break after this, 25 minutes or so might as well give it everything. Key here is how to recover a bit of strength. I'm sure she's going to have to try and get something out of her right foot here. Just slapping for the hold. No, I was about to say slapping for the top hold with the right foot hanging loose. Doesn't seem to be working. As was the case for the junior B, for the youth B and the youth A. Unfortunately, Kai and myself weren't able to speak to any route setters beforehand. They were frantically pulling down the boulders from youth A and chucking up the boulders for junior, so we weren't able to pick their brains on the beater for these boulders.
Yeah, the schedule's been pretty tight.
Has been super tight. They finished work at 5 a.m. last night. They've had a succession of late nights and early starts. So we're on sighting these boulders the same as you guys at home. We have had the advantage of walking on the mats and having a look at them, but we haven't had a route setter telling us if there's any secret beater. So Margot's out. Gerald Palmer also, Team Austria. 3 Austrians spread across the male and female final here in junior category. Tries the cross through, but doesn't get on with it, and once again shakes that right hand. That's something we've seen a lot there. Margot, well, it's hard to tell, but her body language suggests not enamoured with her first look at this boulder.
No, this is definitely, that jump is uncomfortable for her.
She makes it work though. So she'll go up right hand first to the bonus. This is also a big move.
Yes.
Come on, Margot.
Come on.
Latches it. You could tell it was close, but she held it. Okay, just the top hold to go. It's a big just, though.
Ah.
Now, that was a completely different technique. You used the right foot instead of the left, and that looked to me like she maybe got a bit more out of it than
Some of the
Miho
other
and Johanna.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johanna and Miho, we both saw really going for it with the left heel hook. That time, Margot tried the right toe, and it, I don't know, seemed a little closer.
Yeah, I think that this last move is a lot harder than I expected it to be, and I don't know what Beta. I know Margot's really flexible, so she may try something crazy. Maybe heel hook the bonus. We'll see. Who knows?
Got a minute and 40 on the clock. She's just not left the ground yet, Margot. Yeah, again, not getting on at all with the men's 3. So Margot controls the swing. It's another hard move up to this bonus. Again, not a move you can really learn. It's just a big old leap, and you've got to be absolutely spot on with it. She looked really solid that time. Now, what will she do with her feet here? I think she's going to go for the right toe again.
Oh, wow.
Margot Hayes tops.
That's the win.
Double check on the score, but I'm pretty sure that is the ball game, as they say.
Margot has won.
That is the double for Margot Hayes. Lead and boulder.
I think actually every category has had a double. Kashima, Yanya, and now Margot. For women.
Wow, you're absolutely right, yeah. You're absolutely right. Statistician extraordinaire, Kai Leitner. So again, 10 seconds to go. He'll have another go, but I think it really, he's going for the bonus here because he's been struggling with these lower moves. They're so physical. 4 minutes to try and recover and attempt this multiple times is pretty harsh. No. Oh, there's Yanya Gambret, speak of the devil there in the white t-shirt, closest to the camera, next to the barrier. Having a chat with Eddie the photographer. Eddie, come on, do some work. We need some photos for Facebook. So we're on to the 4th boulder. They're both on the left-hand side of this wall here in Guangzhou, right in front of Yanya Gambret. Waiting for the results to come through. So Baptiste Omets and Will Boast are the only people that can catch Borna Chucic. We see it there. Borna leading the way with 2 tops, and Baptiste and Will the only other climbers with any tops. So they're the only 2 climbers that can catch him. Lower down the order, no tops so far for 4 of our finalists tonight. Hard selection of boulders. Margot Hayes, yes, clinches the title. Nobody else with 2 tops, and Margot has 3. So Margot Hayes, she will do the double. And as you rightly point out, we've had a double, as in winning the lead and the boulder, in all 3 age groups for the women. Tara Hayes, meanwhile, Francisca Sterra, Miho Nanaka further down the order. So Miho was the favourite. She will not be the champion. So Margot Hayes already won. Pretty happy with that?
Definitely. That's another gold for the USA.
God, Donald Trump is rejuvenating US climbing, or he's only been there 5 days. He's already transformed your fortunes.
I I choose not to comment.
I would be doing exactly the same. So out comes Will Bosey. I wonder, just look at his right hand, he doesn't appear to have any finger tape or anything on it, but he certainly wasn't happy on men's 3. Big head shake here. He's, now that Kai and I were out here earlier and we were discussing hands on the right or feet on the right, and I said hands on the right, Kai said hands on the left.
I did.
I was right.
You were right.
For once. I think it was the only bit of reading I got right, but you've got to claim your victories when they're on offer. So men's 4, we were also discussing how you might negotiate this pit. Maybe you could get a hand jam in between those boulders, but it's going to be a sideways hand jam. It's a really awkward move. I don't think there's a hand jam to be had there. Could be proved wrong. So you've got to flick now, we think, yeah, pretty sure into an undercling.
Yeah, I have pretty big hands, so I read a hand jam.
Yeah, when you said hand jam, I thought, oh wow. Yeah, I don't think many people are going to try. Maybe Baptiste, perhaps.
I don't know.
Well, Bosey climbing this boulder really well so far, though.
I think it might get a toe in between the seams.
Hip flexibility
Yep.
will really be rewarded here.
Nice.
Don't forget to get both hands on it, Will.
I know.
Happy man. So I think that'll be enough to give him the lead.
Definitely.
On attempts. Very happy man, leaves the stage in the lead. Remember, if Borna tops this, doesn't matter about the number of attempts, if he tops it he'll win, but Will Bosey for now, he's done all he can do, he's in the lead. So next out we'll have Franziska Sterrer, Austria, and Nicolas Pelosson of France. Franziska's had a good 2016, 11th in Munich in the last Boulder World Cup of the year. Didn't quite make semis in Meiringen or Innsbruck, but yeah, 11th place in Munich, not to be sniffed at. And she'll be out next on to women's 4. First time we've had a look at women's 4 since the observation period, and you might remember we felt it was relatively easy to read, quite crimpy.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the women would like this boulder.
We shall see. First attempts on it.
I think that the male 4 may not be necessarily hard, but very beta intensive. And so if you read it correctly, then you could probably get it done in a few attempts. So we'll see how the male problem goes.
You can really see Will's experience on that, hey?
Definitely.
Just really moved well. Didn't take any big risks. Thought through each move.
Absolutely. Will
So
climbed it very
Franziska.
well.
On to women's 4. Nicolas Pelosson, meanwhile, looking pretty handy so far on men's 4.
If he can do this boulder, it'll be his first top of the day. Oh,
Tried
I spoke too
to
soon.
tried to skip out the blue volume. I mean, you've got to have both hands in control on the top. It's not good enough just to slap it like that. So Franziska's already had an attempt on this women's 4, albeit unsuccessful. It's steeper than it looks, but it's not as steep as what came before it. Most of it about 15 degrees, 10-15 degrees overhanging. It's all up these yellow crimps. They're really awkward crimps though, they're not flat crimps either, they're kind of rounded.
Yeah, they're very weird.
They're kind of in between a closed crimp and an open crimp. Really,
You have to be pretty accurate
yeah.
with hitting those holes.
And I think that is the correct method she's got there. You've got to get that left foot up, tuck it right into your groin. So Nicola back up to his high point. I think he'll use the blue volume this time. Maybe not. No, it'll go straight through.
He doesn't need it.
Doesn't need it.
That's his first tap of the day, I'm sure.
Be happy with that. Leave with a top. They've been few and far between in the men's competition. Although that one, men's fours, now had 2 tops and 2 climbers. You've got to have one slightly easy boulder. Surely the men have had a pretty brutal set this evening. So Francisco got a minute left. Shaking out. It's more physical than it looks, this boulder. Fatigue also an issue. Day after day after day of climbing, and then the 4th boulder of a tough final.
Absolutely. It can be pretty tiring.
On the for your final, the Youth A, Hannah Schubert was here commentating with me. She was saying fatigue really kicked in. She woke up this morning knowing she didn't have to climb and suddenly just felt completely exhausted.
Absolutely. As soon as I finished climbing, I just felt a huge rush of relief because my fingers hurt so bad. I've been climbing for about 7 days in a row, and it's been pretty crazy.
So she's got 5 seconds. This will obviously be her last attempt. 2, 1, off she goes. Knocked for Francisco this time. Tara Hayes will be out next. Tara, of course, led after the first boulder. Margot Hayes really has been in control ever since, and she's already won this competition regardless of what happens on the final boulder. Tara, though, currently in second, 1 top 3 attempts. A top here would put her in a very, very firm second place. As it stands, it's relatively tenuous. Still lots of climbers still to come, but as I say, a top here would really help her out. Meanwhile, we've got Baptiste Omets out. He's very much in the reckoning. You can see how hard Tara's having to work.
It seems
up
like
that right hand.
this bonus is pretty hard to get for the women. The men's boulder looks maybe a bit too easy.
The men have had a brutally hard set of boulders here. It seems that this one may be marginally easier. All things are relative, of course.
Absolutely.
Top for Baptiste. Tara just staring at the boulder, wondering if there's something she might have missed, some key method. I don't think there is. Two minutes 20 to go for Tara. Bumps the right hand up. This looks more promising. No, just beginning to peel off as she heads
I
to the
think
bonus.
you have to put your foot on the start volume.
I think you do, but then by the same token, those crimps on the right are so poor that's going to start to lever your body outwards. It's a fine balance between those two options. Tara, I think, just having a few skin issues, as we've just talked about. Day after day after day of climbing, especially in these quite humid conditions in China. It's kind of bad for the skin even when you're not climbing.
Yeah, it's been very humid here. A lot of the volumes it just felt super slick. Like in our final, we had a couple volumes that felt pretty gross. So I can definitely feel the the pain of these athletes.
Yeah, just working around the venue, installing cameras and cables and things, it's super easy to cut yourself. It's the humidity just seems to make your skin so vulnerable.
Absolutely.
So that, again, slightly different method from Tara. She's got a minute left to try and suss this one out. Currently sitting in second. That is now the best she can do, of course, because Margot Hayes won it with a boulder to spare. Just the body language, Tara's body language just suggests she is fairly tired. You can see just how much effort she's having to put into each of these attempts.
Yeah, you can definitely tell.
She'll have another go though. Still time. This will be her last climb of a long week here in Guangzhou. Give it everything, Tara. No. No top for Tara. Stays in second. But it means that climbers can move above her with the top. Yeah, if Miho Nanaka or Johanna Faber does it, they can move above her. Francisca Serra also has a top, but she's already been on to women's 4. So the pressure is now on Borna Čučić, by the way, in the men's competition, because Baptiste Omets is currently top with 2 tops in 2 attempts, followed by Will Bosi, and Borna's been bumped down to 3rd place due to number of attempts.
If he can do this problem, then it won't matter. And every other competitor has done it so far, so we'll see.
Yeah, as you say, attempts don't matter for Borna. He just has to top the boulder. He can take 100 if he wants, but he'd have thought he would. I won't tempt fate. We'll see. We'll see what he does, but all he needs to do is top it to win. So here's Sarika Okawachi. That looked a relatively promising attempt. Shaky out the hand, it's tough on the fingers. Raiho Kamiyama. Just slipping off men's 4.
The first athlete not to flash for the bonus.
Borna Čučić will be next out. So Sarika, just wondering if that's a bit of fatigue kicking in. Come on, we can focus on Raya Haight. He's got a fight on his hands. It's so physical, this boulder. Admittedly, most of the climbers have done it.
He's slipping right off that volume.
They've done it, if not easily, but certainly hasn't posed too many problems so far, but that cumulative effect of hard boulders and consecutive days climbing perhaps beginning to show. It's a tough move, that. A lot of body tension required all the way up that men's 4.
Yeah, he's just slipping right off that volume though. It just shows the humidity.
Yeah, it's really strange actually. It is really humid now. As I say, it's hard to believe that 3 days ago at this time of night it was, well, felt like -10. It was probably about 10 degrees. It was freezing.
It was very cold.
Still very much shorts and t-shirts weather here. Raihe gets past that move this time though. So now he's somehow got to turn that into an undercling on the volume above, which he duly does. Will he use the blue volume? We saw Nicolas Pelosson not use it.
Nice.
Gets the top. He had a bit of a battle, but he got there in the end.
Oh, she's the first girl to get the bonus.
So Sarika Okawachi, that's a shame. Be good to see this women's 4 topped, and it'd be good to see Sarika top it as well. Really hope she gets the top from this evening's final. Hard on the fingers, you can see her just trying to get rid of a bit of pump, get some life back into those fingers. As I mentioned earlier, the holds on this women's 4, I guess they're crimps, but they're kind of slopey crimps. They're really awkward. They kind of hold that you can just readjust on all day.
Yeah.
You could hold it differently every time you use it. They're really funny holds.
It's a very odd hold. Oh, wow.
Just about sticks it with the ring finger and a middle finger. So close. I suspect we might see a top on that. We've still got 3 climbers to go, including Miho Nanaka. Johanna Feb is also to come, and Margot Hayes, who's already won here. There's Miho. Doesn't look super happy. It hasn't quite gone her way this evening. Top here would be a nice way to finish though. Borna Čučić, meanwhile, who's here on men's 1. Simple task. Simple but not easy. Has to top. Got 4 minutes to do so.
Well, for him, he's secured a podium position. So the worst he can do is bronze. But if he can top this boulder, he will tap the gold medal.
Yeah, it's been one of the real surprise packages of this week. And as I say, great to see someone shaking up the order. And he could do more than shake it up. He could win this competition.
Yeah, Croatia is a nation where, we haven't seen a lot of the strong climbers, so it's impressive.
So Borna Čučić, keep an eye on him. Here he is. This to win junior gold medal. He's going about it the right way.
And I think that's it.
He looks very good. He is world champion. Borna, take a bow. He knows. He knows. It's often difficult to know what climbers are aware of in isolation. Maybe they know they might need a top or not, but they might not know about number of attempts. But Borna, I think he knows full well what that means.
Yeah, he looks super excited.
Youth World Champion Junior category 2016. Fantastic. The Croatian. I have to confess, I don't know the Croatian national anthem. We will find out this evening.
Yeah, we will. We've never heard it before.
So Borna, done. You want to be with the Croatian team tonight, that's for sure. That's where the action's at.
That's funny though, because I feel like I can recognize the Russian anthem from a mile away.
So can Miho finish her evening with a top? So powerful, Miho, and flexible. You'd have thought if anybody can nail that move, it would be her. I think she'll go right hand first, she will. Now left foot up, maybe, no, just goes straight for the bonus.
Yeah. I'm very surprised actually. I thought that she would do this boulder. I think she needs to get her left foot up. It does mean though that I think that Tara may have secured a podium position.
I'll have a look as the scores update. As I say, apologies for the lack of scores. Sometimes the firewall is low and we get regular score updates, and sometimes the great firewall is high and we have to wait a bit. It's easy to get fixated on the score though. Good just to watch the action sometimes, especially when you've got Miho Nanaka in action. So left hand, right hand, now left. No, it's that move to the bonus that's proving so problematic. Just as we keep an eye on Miho bottom of your screen, we can see Bordachucic has won here. Baptiste Omets will take silver and Will Bosi will take bronze. Nicola Pelosson, Ryohei Kameyama, the only other two climbers with tops. That could all change though. So not today for Miho Nanaka. Wave to the crowd and traipses off.
Yeah, it's been very surprising for some of the top boulders, like Sasa not making finals and Mio having probably not the day she wanted.
It's been a good year on the whole for her though. As I say, silver medal in the Senior World Championships, second overall, Boulder World Cups, 2 World Cup wins.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she'll end the year happy.
She might have a couple of days been disappointed, but you think, yeah, get back in the gym at the end of the year, and
Yeah.
I don't think she'll be too unhappy. That's a pretty good 2016.
The podium positions for male junior are set because the last two climbers haven't topped any boulders.
So here comes Johanna Faber. We're also going to have Nicolas Collin of France. Nicolas, no tops yet. He's had a bonus, but no tops. Belgian athlete, there he is, out on the right-hand side. Qualified in second for this final. But it's been a really hard round of boulders. Ditto Johanna Faber, qualified second. Seen a few more tops in the women's competition, most of them from Margot Hayes. Nicolas got this move pretty dialed. Go up to the green volume now. Some of the climbers have skipped out the blue volume altogether. I have to say it made it look slightly harder from my point of view, but if it works, it works. Scoring wise, result wise, obviously there's no difference whether you use it or not. He will use it though. As I say, to me it looks marginally easier to use it than to go straight through.
Oh, wow.
First top of the day for Nicolas. Great way to finish for the Belgian climber. Still no top on women's 4. What a moment that would be if Margot Hayes could come out and do it.
It actually looks like her style of boulder, so I would not be surprised if she did this.
Well, this evening everything's been her style. Amazing performance.
Yeah, she looked really strong.
Hannah, no.
I think the Japanese girls, yeah, she's the only one to get control of that bonus. It seems
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, she is. Sarika. No top though. Would be great to get a top. Never like to see a boulder go untopped. Seems a waste.
Yeah, no. You always want to know what sequences would have worked.
How does this make you feel looking forward to next year? Be competing in junior category. You think you can live with these guys? You think you can give them a run for their money?
Oh, I don't know. I think going into every competition, I always worry about my climbing. If I feel like I've climbed my best, then it's all that matters.
Are you generally an optimist going into competitions or a pessimist?
I'm an optimist. I always think everybody always has a shot. So I go in, I just worry about my climbing, and if I put it all on the wall, then I have nothing to be disappointed about.
So Johanna looking to put everything on the wall here. The last few moves of her World Youth Championship 2016. Decides not to bother with the final go. So Margot Hayes will be last out. I suspect she knows she's won.
Yeah.
You would imagine so.
Absolutely.
When it's through tops like that.
And I actually think she might do this boulder.
Be great if she could.
If anyone can do it, she can. She's looking great tonight.
So Georg Palmer, he's not had a top or a bonus yet here this evening. This represents a fairly good chance, judging by what we've seen from the other men on this boulder 4. Margot Hayes has topped everything in her path this evening. Very controlled on the first move. She does, she looks solid so far. Got to get that foot up.
Wow.
Margot Hayes, is she going to flash this? What a finish that would be to a pretty dominant performance this evening. She sticks it and the final hold is good. Just needs to match. Easier said than done, chalks up. Sets herself. Will she jump? Will she try and use her feet? We haven't seen any of the climbers up this high yet.
Wow.
She just calmly gets the left foot on top of the volume and rocks up to the top hold. That is 4 tops, 4 boulders for Margot Hayes. Very, very dominant performance here in the Junior A final. Georg Palmer, he also gets his top.
Wow. Margot really dominated this competition.
Just makes his way off the stage. He's got a top in the bag. Margot Hayes has got 4.
I think every other girl in female juniors only had 1.
We'll confirm the results for you in just a second, and then after that we'll have the 6 podiums, no less. Male and female in B, A, and junior. Just waiting for the results to come through. You can see there Marco Scalaris getting ready for an interview at the Chinese TV. And as you rightly say, the double in all three female age groups. Let's have a look at the results here, just to confirm. So there we go. Borna, he wins. Baptiste Ometz is second. Will Boty takes third in the men's competition. All the climbers topped that final boulder. We'll get the women's results for you confirmed as well. So it's Croatia, Switzerland, Great Britain in the men, and in the women, USA on top. It's Hayes first and Hayes second, Margot first, Tara second, Franziska Sterra takes third for Austria, Miho Nanaka down in fourth, Johanna Ferber in fifth, Sarika Okawachi takes sixth.
You can really see from the results how dominant of a performance Margot had. It was very, very impressive.
Yeah, extraordinary performance from Margot Hayes. 4 tops on 4 boulders. Kai, you know her well. What's the secret to her success? Hard work, talent, just good genes? Why has Margot Hayes been so extraordinary this week?
Oh, well, she's been training super hard, and she's such a great competitor. She just works so hard, and so that's the reason why she's so good. And she deserves both her gold medals.
Well, she's about to receive them, and I know you've got to go and collect a silver medal, so we will sign off. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a fantastic championship here in Guangzhou. We'll see you in Kran in Slovenia in a couple of weeks for your final instalment of IFSC 2016. Thank you for watching.